Hey guys, my name's Justin and welcome to Hillsboro, where we care about the design behind designer luxury. And if you do too, make sure to subscribe. Alright, so for today's video, I wanted to do something light, something fun, something easy. I just wanted to talk about some of the stuff that I am currently into in terms of fashion. If you don't know me, the way that I see a wish list is kind of like a living, breathing thing. That sounds weird, but like things can be added to the list, can be taken off either by losing interest, buying, I don't know. You don't really need a reason. It's just, I have a list that's always running of like things that I like, and sometimes I get bored of stuff, so I'm like, hey, I don't want that anymore. But I still like things, and it's okay to like things, so let's talk about it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is the Multipocket Baguette from Fendi. That collab with Marc Jacobs that happened like, was it 2 years ago at this point? They did these multi-pocket baguettes in technical nylon. Every pucker, every kind of like not great thing in terms of construction was very visible on these bags. It was really weird seeing like something that appeared so low quality in terms of construction. Now seeing this bag come out, I love it. That bag structure is meant to be in like a heavier duty material like the monogram canvas. They also have it in leather, but I think for me, the idea of like, it's a baguette with another baguette and another baguette, like just like plastered all over the front with the Fendi like FF, this kind of like insane kind of interpretation of like what logos would be on this like multi-layered thing is like, it just like does something for me. So that's that's the first one. Alright, the next thing I want to talk about, I have to read it because I tried saying its name and I couldn't. It's the large black embossed spiral curve 01. I sound like a robot. The Mugler large black embossed spiral curve 01. Oh, well, I got it then. I just really like the construction of this bag. I am a fan of like new Mugler, even though it is very like kitsch, camp, over sexual. Like, I mean, I guess that's kind of like Mugler's energy the whole time. But I don't know, people don't like it for some reason. So I'm like, whatever. I like it, and I like this bag. It's kind of like if you take the Balenciaga hourglass and you like put it through like a wormhole, so it like really distorts it and makes it like really like curvilinear. They have one that has like a metal handle, and I think I like that one as well, but for some reason I'm like, I need a crossbody, which I'm like, I don't need one, I already have so many. Using it as like a very casual, everyday bag, but then having this weird flared base with this like curve underneath is just like really doing it for me right now. And then having like the silhouette of the bag following those like embossed lines. Again, it's like very sensual, it's very almost like over-designed in a way, but in a way that like just scratches part of my brain in like a really good way. I like it. So Casey Cadwaller, good job. So a quick segue. For me, something about fashion, it hasn't really been like doing it for me. There hasn't been anything that's made me very like passionate about it recently. So like a lot of the things that I typically like are not like the standard ones. The multi-pocket baguette is like, it's not really standard. And I know the Mugler bag I just talked about, that is standard, but I've also like wanted that for a while. But there's been kind of a gap. But this is another bag that is standard that I've actually liked for a while. It's definitely out of my price range. Definitely hard to get still. Every Bottega Veneta store I've ever been to in 4 different countries has always been out of it for some reason. But this bag is so insane when it comes to like the craftsmanship. They had one of the Kalimero shoulder bags with like the flap, which like not my jam, but I got to see like the craftsmanship like close up and seeing how the folded, like not pleated leather because it's not very neat, but like the almost like ruched leather that's been woven together, how that creates that kind of like thick structure. You've probably heard like everyone talk about how the craftsmanship of Bottega Veneta leather is like, their leather items are beautiful and amazing and just well done. And like, I think this is kind of like the epitome of craftsmanship when it comes to their stuff. I've not seen something done in such a way that it almost makes it look soft, but it is quite structured. And I think that's what makes me so interested by it. It has this open bucket, and then it has like a drawstring bag. I don't know if that's like built in to the bag or if it's something that like you just can add in that they give you, because it is a very open structure of this bag. But then having this drawstring closure, I think adds a little bit of security that I appreciate. Looking through the pictures and you see like it's almost like a lasso, but like, yeah, it's like a rope at the end. I just want to like have it and have it not be looped and just like swing the bag around. I just think it would be like so satisfying. I do not know why. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is actually like a little departure from bags. If you are familiar with me, you know that I love Tabis. I think there's something about them that creates this kind of like mysticism. It makes you like, you know, like a fashion girly, you know, whatever. And like, I don't care that they're like easier to get and easier to find now. Like, for me, accessibility in terms of at least being able to like find a piece, being able to like source a piece, I think is great. This kind of Tabi though, I've just been thinking about. I don't know if the resurgence of like Western stuff because of like Cowboy Carter, but like I've wanted this since last year, but it's basically this Western boot, the Tabi Western boot. It looks like a cowboy boot. It just has a Tabi slit at the front. And I think it's so insane. It's slouchy, which I think is unusual for like a cowboy boot. Typically they do have a bit more structure, as they need to be for like the actual like cowboys that wear them. But there's something about this shoe that's like driving me crazy, and I'm like, it's the only Tabi that's been like decently interesting for me, because they have the Tabi like Chelsea boot, loafers, whatever. They have the broken mirror Tabi, but they haven't done any like crazy ones like how they used to have like graffiti or any sort of like interesting like finish to the material. But for this one, I'm at least, oh my god, at least the structure is great. And I'm like, if I could somehow swing getting this shoe before Beyonce tours for Cowboy Carter, assuming she's going to tour, I think that'd just be so hilarious. And I feel like it would be so on the mark in terms of like fashion, funny, hot, Western, boom, I don't know. And then for the next thing, we're sticking with Margiela. Okay, this is actually very seriously on my list because it's not like too expensive. I think it's like $17.50. It's the Cactus bucket bag. It feels almost out of character. I almost expect this to be from like J.W. Anderson, Loewe, or honestly even like Kate Spade or something like that. I do not understand when it came out, but I love this bag. It is a bucket bag. Like they have their like fire pails or whatever bags, and they have this little bucket bag and it has this faux fur, green faux fur with like little white, I'm assuming leather spikes. It looks like a cactus. It's genius. Just something so ridiculous and so stupid. Also, living in Sweden, all of my plants are dying. I don't know how to keep them alive because there's just not enough sun. So I'm like, if I just get this bag and place it somewhere nice, it'll make me think that I haven't lost the touch, because I feel like I don't know how to grow plants anymore. I know I talked about that drawstring bag for the Kalimero to add that little bit of like security of having a closure on a bucket bag. It is the Cactus. Like you can see like the little pull strings at the top. And also after like looking a little bit closer at the picture, I'm realizing those are actual like white painted studs. I'm assuming it's metal. It looks like metal from where I'm sitting. The more I look at this bag, the more I like am falling in love with it. Like it has a canvas lining, which the Kalimero is not lined unless you count that drawstring pouch as like the lining. And it looks like there's even like a little card slot on the inside. I'm like, oh, what more could you need? It's this little cactus. It closes up and it's spiky to protect all your things to keep it safe. Ooh. And for the last thing, of course, no wish list would be complete without something from Loewe. This was kind of like the first thing that like caught my eye in a while, and it's the small nest basket bag. What I find interesting is that the inspiration is taken from, I think like, what are those called? Those like the birds that weave baskets. Is it called a basket bird? Basket weaver? A weaver bird? All I remember is in The Color of Friendship, they talk about a bird that uses like straw and twigs and weaves it together to build a really strong nest. And I'm pretty sure this is the same thing that was inspired. Hold on, am I just like into basket bags right now? Or bucket bags or whatever? It doesn't seem too dissimilar in a way from Kalimero. Obviously, structurally, and the fact that the Kalimero uses like a ruched or like gathered leather and is woven. The nest bag is just strips of leather woven more organically, which is I think what I find really interesting about it. I think the other difference is that there's a closure on top that is just like a little loop of leather and then a knot of leather that you is that illegal? What? You know what I'm talking about.
Is that allowed? What the fuck? Is that allowed?
Anyways, so what I do love about the nest bag is that there is room for like gaps, like you can see through it a little bit. Not enough for anything to like fall out. You know, I was looking at it and like when you like look through it, you can see like light coming in. I think it's such a beautiful bag. I love how organic it is, and obviously there's some sort of like methodology for them to create this bag time and time again. But the way that it's put together, it looks like it's like a one-off piece. I mean, not surprising coming from Loewe, but like a level of craftsmanship that you don't really see in any of their brands right now. So those are the items that are like currently piquing my interest. I would say like the last three are kind of like my top choices. Obviously the Bottega one I'm not gonna get. But I love these little like bucket roundy little bags that have that little organic feel to them. I don't know if I'm gonna buy any of them because I did just take a trip. A lot of us, me and you, everyone in the world included, I think especially right now, like it's not super responsible to like want things so much that it's like, tick, okay, what's the next thing? Tick, I want to buy the next thing. I don't know, I want to be more responsible when it comes to like talking about fashion, wanting things, because when we're talking about bag analysis or fashion analysis and things like that, the idea of fashion analysis with ownership being one of the steps on the way is not sustainable and is not a great way to think about things. Also, I think that's where I was for a little bit and I'm like, hold on, let's stop that. So I just wanted to like set the record straight so that there's no weird expectations. This is a very like flat list, and I think something that if you want to, you can also practice it in that way. But yeah, I guess that's all I wanted to really talk about. I just really like some stuff, and you know, it'd be nice to add some stuff to my collection, but for now, I'm kinda happy. I'm kind of in, what is it called, purse piece? That's all I have for you today, so if you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. Lets me know that you like this kind of content and that you too care about the design behind designer luxury. Until next time, bye!